Hello friends,
Sure.
today we have with us Pulkit Gupta. He lives in United States, and actually I met him during India Conference 2018, which was held in Boston in MIT. Pulkit also campaigned for Aam Aadmi Party during Punjab election in 2017. So Pulkit, what do you do in USA, and what is your role in Aam Aadmi Party?
Okay, so basically, I'm in a financial consulting here. I work with the different banks to build some financial models and all those stuff. Have been in United States for 10 years now. Have been lived in like a lot of other different places on the East Coast and in the Midwest now in Chicago. So yeah, it has been a long hair, but basically, yeah, the reason why I support Aam Aadmi Party is because we all, as a first generation immigrant, have always been like have a tendency. I mean, India was our country. India is still our country.
Yeah, still.
I mean, I love US. I like US, but still, India is our country, and all of us want to go back there at some point. So yeah, that's the reason I want to help someone bring a change. I mean, a lot of people are already active on ground. I just want to help them.
You went back to India for campaigning during Punjab elections.
Hmm.
So, what was the constituency you were working on in Punjab?
Yeah, so I've been helping people in Army Party, working with people from like start of the first election itself. First election, we worked on a calling campaign. Second, now then it was Lok Sabha election. We worked with a candidate in UP. Then we worked in a Satyendra Jain's election in second Delhi election that made him help. I'm very glad that he ended up being a health minister and he's doing amazing job. Then after that, I really felt like, okay, I need to go on ground.
Mhm.
Before I was just fundraising, doing funding, um, helping people out there to motivate, donate and all that stuff. Then I went to Punjab and I went to Majitha.
Mhm.
So it was an
Oh,
interesting because yeah, Majitha was where the whole, I mean, kind of battle was going on, and it was against Vikramjit Singh Majithia. A lot of people suggested not going there, but I mean, it's okay. I mean, you have to play your role, and someone has to go. So yeah, went there. I spent like 20 days to 30 days there in start of the, I mean, build up of the election. We were on ground every day. So it was a hard battle, tough constituency, rural constituency. But the things, I mean, we all know the results. But the things that why we were there, because that was the first time someone really did thought that someone can fought against Majithia.
mhm.
Before that, there was no credible candidate put against Majithia. He used to be like, okay, king of that town, and no one used to question him. The last day, I mean, yeah, results didn't came out in our favor. The last day on the streets of Masjid here, there were thousands of people who somehow believed that yes, change can happen. I mean, if I show you the video, you can see thousands of people moving in a uh, rally kind of situation. But they were just tired. Probably they didn't believe it that this time we can change or whatever happened. Somehow we were not able to convince or what, but they have seen a way of hope that things can change. So yeah, Punjab was a big learning. I mean, yeah, not everything is perfect. We tried. There were a lot of things that we might have missed. We might have not communicated well with the locals, but we did put our hope in the minds of the people. Okay, things can be changed. Probably that election it didn't happen. People will see through this new government, but they will realize, okay, these people are here to stay, and if we keep on working, we will change it. So yeah, went to Majitha, then went to Delhi.
Mhm.
So that was a tough call because after losing Punjab, it took me some time to go to think, and then I went to Delhi for the MCD election. Went there for again a month. Delhi at that time, 40 degrees of heat.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just playing small role out there, but when I saw some people who are like in 60s, 50s, they were climbing 5 stories
Mm-hmm.
of apartments, no elevator or anything, and they were doing campaigning. So those are the people who motivates people like us to keep going. I mean, in Majidha, we saw a lot of people who, I mean, the road situations were very bad. People with, I mean, kind of poverty that we just like want to. I mean, there's two India living right now.
Oh yeah.
One which is growing, and but there's a small India living in towns, probably 30% of the population. But still, there's a huge population out there that has been like hasn't seen the growth. It's just on paper.
Yeah,
I
it's on
mean,
paper.
roads are not there.
Yeah. And how do you manage your time? You working full time in states and you go for months of campaigning in India.
So I need to take some time, days off. Like don't get paid for those days off for that. So yeah, spending time in India is hard. Last year I ended up spending 2.5 months out of the whole year, and I mean, in the election campaigns and all, I spent more than 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my other stuff as well, but it was primarily for election campaign.
And I
Pamphlet
think,
dist-
yeah,
yeah,
I think you witnessed the kingdom of Majidhia, and that constituency was also a battlefield for Aam Aadmi Party because of many
yeah,
lawsuits and legal procedures. And Arvind Kejriwal had to apologize in writing
yeah,
I think a month or few months ago. So,
yes, yes.
leaving that legal process aside, so when you
Mm,
approach to a last voter in that constituency, what was the voter
mm.
response about Aam Aadmi Party and the existing candidate there?
So, I mean, people are always attracted toward us. They feel us that we are the right people. But somehow it's sometimes hard to convince that we can make the change. So, with this first election, when we are in now the single biggest party, they are seeing that, okay, these people are here to stay, because otherwise, to build up that faith takes time. So they say, okay, आप काम तो अच्छा कर रहे हो, but will
Mm-hmm.
you be able to do it for long? Because Majidhya has been there for 30 years. How long you are going to be there with us? Because tomorrow you will leave, and then what will remain? I mean, how we will keep on going? So I can understand. I mean, your question was, how they feel? They feel, yes, we are doing the right thing. But the next process in the stage is, I mean, okay, we lost that, but we have identified the local people who will keep on this fight. So sometimes I do talk to those local people who I went with. We sometimes we spend just months with working with them. So those local will be carrying this forward. But yes, we need support and we need to back them up, because those are the real ones who are on the ground and fighting us. Look, I mean, they are every day fighting for us.
Yeah.
But if we do not support them, then they will be left like, where's my support base? I mean, if something happens to me tomorrow, where I'm going to go?
Mm-hmm.
So some of them have not. I mean, in Delhi, I've seen people who have like husband and wife are not doing jobs for like 5 years. I don't know how they're surviving, though. I mean, I sometimes really couldn't understand.
Yeah.
They are kids, those who joined us, I mean, just after finishing their college,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
21 and 22. Now they are like 27 with no income in
Yeah.
last 5 years.
Yeah. I talked to some of the
So
volunteers who work there, and
yeah,
they joined in 2012, 13, and they're still working with with the party as a volunteer.
yeah. So they need our support. I mean,
Yeah.
the India that we are thinking of, that India is building on their backs. I mean, we are building the India on their. I mean, they are lifting it up. So we need to support them. So that's the whole point about it.
Yeah, and also, did you feel any resistance from the local people there? Did you saw any gundas pushing you away there while campaigning?
Well, I mean, so we need to segregate that. Locals and gundas, these are the two different things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Locals who are like, they see us as their support. They might not have trusted at that point, might be now. So they are fine. They are welcoming us. 70-80% of the people do welcome us.
Mm-hmm.
They might not support at that point, probably later, and they
Mm-hmm.
are now. But the gundas elements are there because, and it happens. I mean, it does happen. I mean, I can't put all the details because I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
people will start. Yeah, but then the, I mean, beating up happened.
Mm-hmm.
Everything of those kind of things do happen, and so the people. That's what I'm saying. Those people on ground have to face this. So we need to support them because basically we are eliminating that corruption, and if they're gone, I mean their whole life is gone.
Mm-hmm.
They have been out there doing this for that's what they all know for last 60 years, 70 years of our independence. That's what these guys are doing. So we are taking their bread and butter out
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
for good reasons. So
Yeah. Do you speak Punjabi? And if you don't speak Punjabi, was there any language barrier for you to people convinced to vote for Aam Aadmi Party?
yes, sorry, I do not speak Punjabi. So just to let you know, I am from MP and UP. Spend most of my time in MP and UP. So, but as I see, I mean, India is one, and Punjabis are ours,
Yeah.
and they consider as well. So yes, there has been a problem of communicating myself communicating to them. But basically, there are a lot of other roles that you can play. There are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people who will be going out for doing stuff. We have to arrange things for them. I
Yeah.
used to help them in arranging banners, posters, making sure the accommodation works. People are out there for like 12 hours. When they come back, they have a place to eat, place to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of other roles that you can play into that system.
Yeah, so I
So
think if some volunteer who thinks the language is a barrier and they cannot communicate there, so there are other opportunities they can involve with, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
no doubt at it. I mean, running an election for I was there for 20-25 days,
Mm-hmm.
and imagine 300 plus volunteers, or at peak it might be even 500 plus. I do not remember the exact numbers. Going in and out on a daily basis, planning and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we are we don't have a lot of resources. We have to arrange everything, help,
Yeah.
ask people help. So yeah, and we can't go okay, we'll get all the resources. I mean, you have to sleep wherever you can,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to work in that system. So yeah,
So
there are a lot of
there were some
opportunities.
of the unhappy faces living remote areas. They were complaining or saying this candidate is not good, this candidate is not good. So living that far and saying something bad or giving the opinion is very easy. So how you feel the suitability of candidates selected for the Punjab elections?
Yeah, so there we have to understand that our constituency is like 5 lakh people and 10 lakh, not even 10 lakh, it's mostly about 5 lakh. And to identify a person who's willing to fight
Mm-hmm.
and who is respected in that community and all is a hard job. I mean, if I look at my constituency in my hometown, I won't be able to find a person. There are a lot of good people, but
Mm-hmm.
they are not out. They do not want to go out and fight an election because election needs a lot of skills. I mean, you have to beg people for the money as well, because
Mm-hmm.
if you end up putting your own money, you want a return on that.
Yes.
I mean, right? So you have to ask people for the money because you are fighting for them. So there are a lot of things that needs to be worked out. A person needs to understand those things. So it's hard. They find the best one. And I mean, I am just a volunteer. I'm not a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I help managing things and I help my leadership. But the system that our leadership has put on is, I would say, fair. It just makes sure there's no character issues, there are no corruption issues and all. And sometimes you just can't realize. I mean, not everything shows up at the time when you're making a selection.
Yeah.
So my way of understanding that whether they are continuing to do it right or not is after when the issue has been identified and all the things are brought into the public. Are they still promoting him? If that's the case, I have not seen that case,
Hmm.
because once they identify, okay, this guy is wrong, that has been removed. So we will
Yeah.
be, yes. So to put your question, reply back to your question, yes, there might be some candidates which I think were not right, but they are no longer with the party, and that's the way it is. As soon as you identify it, you keep on cleaning, but at the same time, I mean, you have to keep on finding people, and this is a process.
Yeah, I think it's a
Those,
continuous fight,
yeah,
and in the by-election which is happening on 28th of May in
yeah,
Sahakot, the previously Aam Aadmi Party candidate, he moved the side from Aam Aadmi Party to Akalis.
yeah. So in a political system, if person sticks with a party for long run and keep working for the people for the long run,
Hmm.
that's when you identify. So that's why
Yeah.
I was saying in Punjab we just had 1 year.
Yes.
Now when we will going next, we will see which candidate has been helping people in last 5 years,
Hmm.
which volunteer has been helping people in last 5 years, which individual, I mean, could be out of Aam Aadmi Party. We are just a bunch of people. Anyone in this society can help us.
Yeah.
So anyone in the society who's working for the people in last 5 years, you can invite them to. And that's my personal, I mean, observation and
Hmm.
personal viewpoint. Of course, party has a, I think they are on the same lines.
Yeah, and
So let's,
it's a continuous process. People come and join, and this is a long battle.
exactly. The whole point, I guess, here is that, okay, we need to keep helping people out. That's why
Hmm.
we exist, and that's what our motto is. We are
Yeah.
not there. I mean, most of us, like you, me, or even Arvind or Manish, they are not politicians. They want to
Hmm.
people help us out, and we have realized that politics is the way to do it. Because with all the things, they have a lot of power. Power for the good, power can be used for the good thing.
Yep.
So yeah, so this is a process, and as long as they keep on doing good things, I will be supporting them. A lot of other people will be supporting them.
Yeah, and
So
I
yeah,
think,
this
yeah, and this is the support which keeps Aam Aadmi Party driving, and they have been 5 years far from their formation and is still fighting and trying to bring the change we all wished for. So I think anyone who is sympathizer of AAP and he's not vocal, or he think he cannot do anything because he live far from their homes. So I will appeal to them that come forward, and there are many opportunities you can do from remote, you can do remotely. You don't have to go on the ground, and there are many opportunities, and your ideas are being heard by our leaders. So please come forward and join the movement we started 5 years ago, and we still have a long way to go, long fight to fight.
agree. Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are a lot of other things we can help. We can help the people on the ground on a day-to-day basis. The only suggestion that I will make over here is, look, we have to understand it's a party run by volunteers. So there are a lot of things, there are a lot of times you get frustrated, things are
Mhm.
not moving and all that. But at the same time, we have been doing this for last 5 years. We are moving inch by inch by inch,
Yeah.
and we will keep moving. So
Mhm.
it's a baby steps. You keep on taking it. And initially, I was also getting frustrated. Okay, why this not happen in a one day? It may
Mhm.
take some months. But yes, I mean, it's working with the people, and it takes time. But as long as it's not making the change in the life of the common man out there, it makes sense, and it should be done.
So do you have any
Mm,
suggestions for
yeah.
volunteers who are going from USA or Canada to volunteer in Shahkot, or already people who are in Shahkot? Any suggestion about the communication or organization, or any kind of suggestion you have for them? Because you have been there
Okay.
on ground for a month.
Majita. Yeah. So I mean, first of all, because of some reasons, I mean, I have not been got involved in the Sahakot as much. Yes, I'm still supporting them, but I realize the local leadership with Jagtar Singh Sanghera and Ratan Singh Ji is really capable of doing it. So I mean, I won't take that credit at all that I've been in there. But basically, if anyone is going and anyone wants to support, I mean, first thing is for sure, election needs a lot of money. and it needs people's money, not a person money. I mean, personal money, because they are not doing it for personal reasons. So I would be donating. I would request everyone to at least donate some amount, so it helps them understand. Okay, they got the backup. So that's one thing. Second, if the Punjabi folks who talks local language, they can do a call campaign, that will be fantastic from here.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing, who are going on ground, yeah, there are a lot of things to do, and you can get in touch with the local team. But as I have spent 20 to 25 days, I've realized, okay, there are a lot of things: managing the campaign, ensuring that people know what our goals are, what we are planning to do, and all. So a lot of things: managing people on the ground, volunteers, all that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the local team has been doing a good job there. With Jagtar Singh Sanghera is a very fantastic person, who and the local candidate Ratan Singh ji, they have the experience and they can do
Yeah.
that.
One
That's
thing I did not touch about, you also worked in Punjab in 2017 as a booth volunteer during the on the election day. So how was your experience from the election officer and the handling of EVM and other issues at the booth level?
So, I mean, I would just like to correct something. I was not a booth volunteer in the Punjab elections because the local communication and all that
Mm-hmm. Okay.
language stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we left it to locals and they did a good job in managing that. I was helping that in the MCD elections in
Okay.
2017 May in
Mm-hmm.
Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not sitting inside the booth, because there are two types of booth. And one we call booth agents,
Yeah.
those who live in the same constituency and they can only go and sit in their booth.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not doing that. There's people who were outside and managing the booth and all that thing, helping the booth agents inside. So I was doing that. So that's where I was sharing that experience, that election commission officers, I mean, sometimes they're fantastic people, but
Mm-hmm.
not always. I mean, they understand the uh, technicalities, because I mean, as you said, it's not their first job sometimes, because most of them are not I mean, not into the election commission office. They
Yeah.
are government employees. They might be teachers. They might be brought in from the sales tax department or a lot of other departments. So, I mean, that's a tough day for both of them, the returning officers and everyone out there. It's a tough day. And so, I mean, what I realized and learned is, okay, those people who do know the technicalities, they should convince officers, and they do a good job. I mean, they spend like 2 days in the same location, having the food and everything there. They sleep there and almost everything. They just can't move from there. So you have to convince them that these are the right things to do, and you have to sometimes help them understand those things, because not it's not their usual day-to-day
Mm-hmm.
work, so they do miss it. So the booth agents and those people who have the real drive to get these things right
Mm-hmm.
needs to ensure that, I mean, in a good way, help them understand it. So that's very important, having a kind of a cordial relationship, and not for bad reasons, for all good reasons.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is one of democracy. That day is a very important, and
Yeah.
booth agent is one of the most important person, because he will be living in the same constituency, so he will be taking a lot of heat from the opponents in next 5 years.
Yes. Yeah. Is there any other thing you would like to add?
I mean, the only other thing that I would like to add, and what I have been doing in last few months or few years, is initially I mean, I was a volunteer who was like, okay, let's just help them out. Whatever I will do, and then I'll go home and sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that time, that thing is, I have gone over that now. Now it's just it's becoming a part of all of us, and
Yeah.
for all good reasons. Because we have to keep on moving this. We have to think how we can keep on supporting our local growth, because they are not doing it for us. They are doing it for changing India.
Yes.
So we need to ensure. we can support them wherever we can. A lot of those people have not have a proper job in last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone has a family, so whatever we can do to support them. And we have to understand, okay, there will be a lot of instances where you will be mad at Arvind, you will be mad at
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Manish, you will be, but you have to understand in a long run, that they did anything wrong. And as the time progresses, I mean, at that moment, you might not be able to figure out whether the decision was right or not,
Mm-hmm.
but probably as the time progresses, you realize, okay, this might be the right thing. Because to some extent, just to give you an example, if I look at it, how the Lok Sabha was run, I mean, we ran in like 400 seats or whatever. I do not even know the number right now.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like, okay, we spread too thin and we were not able to do anything. But what made it then is like we are known in almost every part of the India.
Yeah.
And people do see us as a good option. They might not see as a like very strong option right now. They will be.
Mm-hmm.
Like now in Punjab we are an option. Now in Karnataka we have a base. Now in Goa we have a base. So there are a lot of things that looks like a bad thing at that point, but over the time, your view changes. And sometimes you just have to spend some time and realize, okay, let it go, and you will figure out, okay, that might be the right thing. And they might be doing sometimes mistakes do happen,
Yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
have they corrected it? So that's the thing. If they correct it, then it's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, no one is perfect in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, have faith, do question. There's no, I mean, because you are the flag bearer. If you do not question, things will go in wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, do have faith as well.
Pulkit, it was really nice to talk to you and know the insights from Delhi and Punjab during the election campaigns. And friends, so if you have any idea or you have any skill about writing the software or planning the strategies, you can
Yeah.
contact your local volunteers in USA, Canada, or in India. And if you want to contribute further or more, get more involved, please feel free to join local team. It feels different when you work for a cause or work for a change you really dream for. You are the owner of that change you want to bring. And we wish very good luck for the Sahkot candidate Ratan Singh ji, and hope this video will help the Punjab volunteers to connect with people and convince people to vote for Aam Aadmi Party.